the steam? Can you feel the heat? It's of the encounter that is brewing. Australia versus New Zealand at Lord's. Trans-Tasman rivalry. Trans. S. Could
You did better than Slater.
A little better than him. He missed one S, did later.
Yes.
Hello and welcome. You're watching My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. It's the white ball Trans-Tasman rivalry, not the white ball Ashes. That has already happened, but it's Australia-New Zealand. Australia with the Q ahead of their name, and New Zealand top of the queue to get the Q against their name. New Zealand, of course, coming off a loss, and Australia have had a fantastic tournament. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Joy Bhattacharjya, Robin Uthappa, the Kolkata boys, both of them, yeah. So obviously, Kolkata was, KKR was purple, but before that was black. So that means you are supporting New Zealand. But then, Robbie wears yellow.
Oh, no. Don't go by what you see above. go by what you see.
You're wearing yellow and black. So either you're supporting both teams or you're a taxi.
You know, my wife actually said that you look like a taxi. Thanks for bringing that up, buddy.
So which one is it? Which one is it? You're supporting both?
No, New Zealand.
New Zealand? So because you're wearing black shirt and black jeans,
Yes.
there's New Zealand support. And you?
No, if I have to support someone, I would support anyone against Australia normally.
Oh, boom!
That's exactly why I'm going for New Zealand.
Mic drop.
And not only that, they've won too many World Cups. You don't like
Enough.
guys, 4 or 5 World Cups they've won, they keep winning it. Damn it, we need somebody else to win.
Enough now.
Enough.
Enough of them.
Yeah.
The reason why I am supporting the Black Caps today is because one team's already qualified.
Yeah,
Let
exactly.
another team
yeah.
qualify.
Yeah. So
Give
many
somebody
reasons
else
to
a
support
chance.
New Zealand today.
I know.
Yeah.
But
It's so democratic of you, that's you, all heart.
That's just me.
All heart.
That's just me. I'm giving. I'm giving. I'm going to give you the points table right now so that you can see what we're trying to say. It's Australia who's top of the table, having qualified already with 12 points. Then there's New Zealand today, as I said, top of the queue to qualify because they're playing a game today. And if they win, they become the second team to qualify. India playing a game tomorrow. India wins tomorrow, they qualify, and they pretty much send England home then.
Yeah, it's just 1, 2, 3. And then you've sorted out with 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you sort it out. And then, of course, Pakistan is playing Afghanistan right now. And Pakistan has to win that game to get to 9. And if they get to... Actually, Professor Bhattacharya will tell us when I have the numbers expert here, why am I bothering?
No, but England could still qualify. Take a look at that. If Pakistan remembers, look at that, yeah.
Oh, you wrote it on the blackboard for us. That's so nice.
So England basically, they need to win 2 out of 2, but even if they don't, if they win 1 out of 2 and they
What
win
has to
10,
happen then?
Basically, see, then those 3 have already gone through. So basically, then neither Pakistan nor Bangladesh should reach 11.
Okay.
Basically, neither Pakistan
So
nor
they've got a better net run rate. So, no, so they need them to finish at 9 then.
Yeah, they need them to finish at 9. So then, whatever happens above that 15 or 13, whatever New Zealand and India get, it doesn't matter. Basically, the last team, the other team after them should end on 9.
So basically, that means if Pakistan wins today and they get to 9, Bangladesh has to play India before that. So they are on 7 right now?
Yeah, so basically for England to qualify on 10, Bangladesh has to win against Pakistan.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And
Okay,
lose
get it.
against India.
And
Presuming Pakistan has won today.
Yeah, and
presuming they win
presuming
today.
Pakistan and lose against India.
And lose against. Ooh, it's
So that-
interesting, huh? Wow, England have really dug themselves into a hole, haven't they?
They have. They've just made it so much harder for themselves. And you feel for them, but at the same time, with the way, the reactions that you're seeing, the things that they're saying before a game, you tend to realize that they've kind of brought this upon themselves. Right?
Yeah, you can sometimes put too much pressure on yourself. Pressure of expectation, the whole world saying, oh, favorites, they've rebooted their team from 2015 to 2019. This is the team that's going to win. You win so many games leading up to it. How do you, what happens then? We keep talking about World Cup pressure, but really, it's just not justifiable.
Sometimes you see, it's at the first loss. Basically, look, they've had 3 losses, out of which 1 was a possible loss which can happen anytime, which you're playing against a top-class Australian side.
Yeah.
You got some Jaffas they bowled. I mean, that's a loss that can happen to any team. But the losses that they'll really worry about, the one that they lost to Pakistan, obviously.
And Sri Lanka.
And Sri Lanka. Those are the 2 losses that they'll tell themselves, especially Sri Lanka. Because if you say Pakistan's an early wake-up call, that Sri Lanka match was such a vital match. Because if they'd won that, everything else changed.
Yeah, so I feel like that Australia match also they've lost because they had lost that Sri Lanka match.
Yeah.
Can that happen,
sure,
Robbie,
yeah,
sometimes? Can you
100%.
get into a losing role, so to
can,
speak?
and that tends to happen in tournaments such as these where you have a start, when you get off to a start and then you feel you take momentum for granted, then you're suddenly shocked, and then again you revive that momentum and suddenly you're again shocked, and then you're like, damn, what is happening? You know, I'm going down this bloody spiral. How do I stop it? And then you suddenly see that you can't stop it. You want to like ebb that flow and you want to restart again. Sometimes it's just too late to do that.
Yeah, it might just be too late for England, is it? But that's tomorrow, right? I mean, actually, you can't say that's tomorrow because now the tournament has reached a place where every game has a significance on every other game.
There's a connection everywhere.
It impacts
Right?
everything else, yeah. And I'm so glad that we've come down to this because remember about a week and a half back we were talking about, 3 teams could be knocked out immediately.
Like 4 plates at the table.
Absolutely.
Right?
But then suddenly the results started changing, Sri Lanka went and beat England, It beat teams that didn't expect to win. Pakistan suddenly made a comeback, beat England. All those revivals happened and the entire table changed.
But tomorrow, it's been such a strange day. I mean, strange things happen in cricket. You've got Pakistan and Bangladesh, both their fans cheering India to win against England. Right? So tomorrow...
We haven't been so united since August 1947.
Oh! Bam!
Yeah, bam!
Bam! Tomorrow, if I want to ask our friends in Bangladesh, tomorrow, if India wins against England, will this come out? Will this come out tomorrow?
I think for all reasons and purposes, that should stop. For Bangladesh's sake, for cricket's sake, it's just not good.
But don't you like the movie
For
Nagin?
the sake of aesthetics.
Yeah.
Ichadhari Nagins should be banned anyway.
Yeah.
Nagin. Why it's so nice.
No.
You don't like that song? Oh, bring it out on the dance floor and watch me
It's
go.
a cultural contribution of basically Hindi cinema to the world. Ichadhari Nagins.
Ichadhari Nagin. You're right, man. This make my skin crawl actually.
Yeah,
Whenever
they
I
do,
see some
don't
film which is about that, just...
My exact feeling when I see cricketers do that.
Yeah.
Makes my skin crawl. Why?
So I can do it. I'm not a cricketer.
No. But you're still associated with the game. So
But I tell you what, the reason why he doesn't want me to do it because he knows I'm a player.
What?
Where did that come from?
Let's have a look at the players who are playing today. I said that like Anil Kapoor. Player! There's Australia who's won the toss and is going to be batting first. And there's no change in their team, right? From the last game, no change in their team and no surprise.
It's a good team. They don't need to make any changes. They're playing well.
Yeah.
They've, everything is going exactly the way they wanted to go. So clearly they're just going to stick with the same formula that's working for them. And good. It's a great side.
They're not listening to Shane Warne.
And
Shane Warne was on Twitter saying that my team has Smith batting at 3 and Sean Marsh batting at 4 and no Khwaja in his team, I guess purely because of the positions that he's saying that.
No, look, he does, but the truth of it is, in a tournament this long, you're going on a loop. You make minor adjustments. You don't make seismic changes in a winning side. Why are you bothering to do that?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they do. See, a lot of long tournaments, especially the end of long tournaments, is holding your shape and form.
Yeah.
Holding it, because what you want is the least amount of uncertainty in the dressing room, everyone knowing exactly what they have to do. So they made one very deliberate change. They went with Nathan Lyon instead of Zampa.
And then they got Behrendorff in for...
They got Behrendorff, and then they've now stuck to it. They said, okay, Nathan Lyon, last game was okay. He wasn't great. Even though Colin Munro has been dropped, there are not too many left-handers now in the New Zealand side. They've still stayed with Nathan Lyon. They said, okay, this is the team that we have.
Yeah, and even if you look at, you look at cricket all over and you look at guys like, for instance, if people are saying that Usman Khwaja is not in form and he needs to be, it's not like he's not in form. He's hitting the ball well. He's just not coming off in certain situations. And that's okay. As in, look what happened to Shane Watson with CSK in that tournament.
Yeah.
He didn't perform the whole
2 years,
tournament.
actually, both years pretty much.
Didn't perform and then came good in those knockout games.
Okay.
So when you entrust people with like faith and say, okay, that faith is going to be reposed at some point, because guys recognize that they've been given a shot. Right?
Yeah.
Guys recognize that, hey, I've got a shot, and they're really giving me the rope here, and I really want to come good. So when that guy comes good, you know for a fact that he's going to come good in a big way for them, and can possibly even become like a match-winning score or match-winning performance that actually single-handedly helps you win the game. So it's a good thing that they're doing with Usman Khwaja, because I think he recognizes that he really wants to contribute, and he sees that he's batting well. It's just a matter of capitalizing. Sometimes that luck factor also plays a part in a cricketer's life, and if those things come together at the right time for him and for Australia, you never know. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. He's a delight to watch, though, Usman Khwaja, one of my favorite batsmen to watch for sure. But another one who's come to the end of his rope, as you mentioned right now, is Colin Munro. Right? So sometimes the rope it can finish. It
They-
does
they-
finish at
but
some
they
point.
give
Even
6-7
long ropes come to an end.
Absolutely, 6-7 chances they gave him. It's not as if he didn't get chances. He got 6-7 chances. It wasn't working, and I think they also tried to fix it because look, that opening partnership, they only got one opening partnership really the first game. The second
right.
game they batted about 5 overs for 30 odd runs.
Yeah.
After that they just haven't got anything from the openers.
They've got nothing. They got a century partnership against Sri Lanka. Then they've been struggling. They've barely played. Like it's gone into the 6th overs. The best that has happened after that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Right. So they're making New Zealand lose a wicket really early in the game, which puts more pressure on Williamson and Taylor. Now they're up for it. Right. Those two are completely up for that task.
Yeah.
But why every time?
Yeah, that's what, in fact, Zach was also saying yesterday, that in the middle order is just being forced to perform time after time after time.
Yeah.
And the one day that Ross Taylor isn't there to give Williamson support, they finally fell short. I mean, finally, he couldn't carry it all on his own. And so somebody, and remember, you're talking about Guptill, who's the highest run scorer in 2015. The highest run scorer in 2015 has really not come to the party today. So they've probably told him, look, we've adjusted it, you take your time, you go for it now. Probably Munro would have got the job of, going after it, and, Guptill would have been given the job of playing through. They probably changed it around a bit, said, okay, you've got a new partner, new start, let's try and do something today.
And also interestingly, like they've got Ish Sodhi in because we were talking about it in the Pakistan game, right? Where Kane Williamson was bowling every ball and going, why didn't I pick Sodhi? Why didn't I pick Sodhi? Why?
He's from Calcutta now.
That's a Devdas one, no? Which one is it?
Yes.
Devdas.
Aishwarya Rai and Robin Uthappa in the same breath.
In Ish. And Kane Williamson in the same breath going, Ish. Today he's managed to take Ish in his team.
But
Talking about
Gaurav,
the surface.
from New Zealand's perspective, this is a good jolt to get at this stage in the tournament, right? Because now, had Ross Taylor come off in the last game and they still lost the game, they wouldn't have worried too much about the top order.
Yeah. Fair.
The attention wouldn't have gone to the top order. The fact that he didn't come off and they lost the game is when they felt, hey, this is not happening for us. So, they probably, the attention was like deliberately focused on the top of the order, which forced them or which made them realize that we can afford to make a change now, and say, if whoever's coming in, if Henry Nicholas, comes in and gets runs and gets into form, that gives them someone at the top of the order who's playing well for them.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's a semblance of balance in that top order so that the middle order can also have enough room and time and fire and not to be too much under pressure like they have been in this entire tournament. So I think hadn't what happened in the last game happened, this change actually would not have happened.
Basically, they got runs last time. They wouldn't have done this.
So
If Ross hadn't got runs last time.
Yeah, there you go. We've got it.
Yeah.
We've got it now.
Yeah. If Ross had got runs.
If the happening of the last happening had not happened, then this would not have happened.
Exactly.
Got it. It's not a problem.
Got it.
We're talking about the openers. I mean, there's a stark contrast is the Australian openers. But before I show you something interesting about the Australian openers, I want to know who are your openers and the rest of your team. Your My 11 Circle team. Have you made it yet? Of course you have. No? You're making it now? Okay, fine. Just pick the game. This is Australia playing New Zealand, of course. And then try and beat Dada if you can. It ain't easy, man. It ain't easy. But I know you're up for it. All right. So while the New Zealand openers haven't got runs in this tournament, besides that one game, the Australian openers have been getting runs. But interestingly, I'll tell you an interesting stat. While they've been on fire in this tournament, and Finch and Warner it's nothing short of being on fire. There's 3 century stands, 2 almost century stands. Well, look at that. What have they got? Like 700 runs?
Yep.
600 runs?
Much more.
Yeah. You should get someone to total that up quickly.
Close
Come
to
on,
800.
Abacus.
I think it's close to 800, or maybe even a little more than 800.
Okay, but that's fine. 700-800 runs.
Yeah, 700-800
But
runs.
that's they're on fire, both
That's
of them.
amazing. I think that's the best thing that happened to Australia. It's just what the doctor ordered, given where they're coming from and how they've been playing, and just the inclusion of Warner again at the top of the order, the chemistry to work. Maybe it just brought Aaron Finch a lot more freedom, made him feel a lot more lighter to go out there and express himself.
Yeah.
It could be one of those things that's making them bat so well. Yeah.
But there's an interesting sort of anti-fact to this fact, is that actually Finch and Warner, in terms of opening partnerships, have the lowest average against the New Zealand, of any team that they play against, right? So they've got a 22.3 average. So while they're getting these 70s and 80s and 100s repeatedly, their average against New Zealand is only 22.3. So somehow, Bolt and co have their number.
And Bolt especially.
Yeah.
Bolt has been fantastic throughout whenever he's bowled against these guys, he's been very good.
Wow.
In fact, the last time that they played New Zealand, I think it was in Auckland, during the last World Cup game they played New Zealand, was at Auckland, and he basically made sure that they lost.
He's when it comes to Finch, he's the Kiwi Bhuvneshwar.
Yeah, he's
Trent Bolt. He has his number. Yeah. He's got David Warner as well. So, I mean, the top order, the batsmen, actually, all the batsmen of Australia are looking at Trent Bolt and saying, well, you've got to play this guy out.
Yeah.
But you play him out, you've got Loki Ferguson at 150 bowling at you.
Yeah.
Then you've got a leggy coming at you. It's a very balanced bowling attack.
Does that mean that Lockie Ferguson opens the bowling today?
Interesting. Let's pull out the New Zealand team again and let's have a look.
Right?
Because there's no Matt Henry today.
Yeah.
So that means...
Well, they'll have to give him the new ball.
Yeah, they'll have to. They don't have a choice.
Unless they go with a WW or...
Unless they go with Jimmy Neesham.
Yeah, they could. They could bowl Jimmy Neesham.
So Jimmy Neesham would be a 135 bowlers.
What do you think?
No, it'll be too early to bring Ish
Sodhi. They could give Santner a few overs early as well.
Maybe Santner, yeah, but not Ish Sodhi. Ish Sodhi won't get it'll be too new and the wicket will be too fresh for him to get something out of it, unless it's damp underneath, but it's not damp, it's dry, and they're batting first because they hope it begins to turn later on in the day. So you know that during the first half it's going to be really good to bat on. So I don't think that they will use Ish Sodhi at the top. Maybe Santner.
This is also the same surface that they used for the white ball Ashes a couple of days ago at Lord's. So 3 days back.
Yeah,
same surface.
It might have gotten better. They must have given it another roll, a little more time to kind of dry out, sun hitting down on the wicket, so must have just dried out, evened up a little bit. May not be that helpful to the fast bowlers.
Okay, well, so Australia, just giving you a little update in case you've just tuned in. Australia-New Zealand is the second game of today. Australia has won the toss and, of course, decided to bat first. The other game that's happening is also very interesting, which is Afghanistan are playing Pakistan. And it's a must-win game for Pakistan. And Afghanistan still looking for their first win. This is at the end of the 35th over. So treat this as a Cricbuzz Combox, if you would. Yes? For the first game.
Yes.
It's 159 for 5. There was Asghar Afghan who was playing like it was a 20-over game. Was doing really well. Then there's Ikram on the other hand, who's playing like it's a test match.
Exactly.
And there's Rahmat Shah who's playing like it's a one day. So everybody is playing a different game there.
Right? Yeah, Najibullah's batting.
Playing a different format.
Najibullah's batting still, they're about 184. It's almost 40 overs now.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, if they get to 220, 230, remember they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So then it's all about the Pakistan batsmen not getting themselves under pressure, playing it early. Look, Pakistan should cruise it. But if they get a couple of early wickets, if Mujib gets something, then everything, the pressure is on Pakistan's head. Afghanistan just has to say, we're going to give this the best shot, throw the kitchen sink and walk out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh, just coming back to, sorry, by the way, if that first game, if you ever watch the highlights, watch the first over that Afridi bowled. I mean, he's an Afridi, so there's bound to be action whenever he's there, right? There's bound to be entertainment. But just that first over we were just talking about that right now. That first over had everything. A first ball 4, second ball played to the bowler aims at the wicket, ricochets for 2 runs, third ball lofted shot, fourth ball dismissal, fifth ball dismissal. There's just something about the name of Afridi, right?
Yeah.
It's bound to be some action or the other that's happening everywhere. All right, on the other side, you're looking at Afghanistan, saying Afghanistan have nothing to lose. You look at this game as well, you say Australia have got nothing to lose as well. They've qualified, they're at the semis. Yes, they want the position, right? You want the 1 or 2 position. It doesn't really matter in
It's
this,
no longer
right?
1 or 2. Now what has become the way it is now, everyone wants 1. Because if you have 1, you're going to play 4.
Yeah.
Whether you're 2, you're going to play 3. Whether 3, you're going to play 2. It makes no difference. So basically, either you get to 1 and get yourself a good chance, or you 2 and 3, it makes no difference at all. It's also, I think more than 1 or 2, I think what they're looking at is momentum. What they don't want to do
you want to just keep winning for the sake of winning.
You want to play against a team who's got maybe comparatively to those top 3, to the other 3 in your group, the least amount of momentum. Because if you play the guys with the most amount of momentum, there is a chance of mistakes happening during the course of the game, which can swing the game in the other way.
And the best way to ensure it is to just keep winning.
Yeah,
because
keep
if you keep
so
winning, somebody else is losing.
Yeah, then you have momentum going with you the whole time.
Yeah, because they may meet in the semi-final. You never know.
Times, because this you can compare this format to the IPL format so closely because it's just one team playing 8 games. And in the IPL it's the same thing, one team playing 8 games twice, right? So that's essentially what happens. So you know that sometimes a lot of teams towards the end of the tournament, like that 4th place team that qualifies, always have a lot of momentum with them.
True.
Because they have to do something to kind of just edge into that top 4. But they edge into the top 4 with a lot of momentum going their way. So irrespective of who they're playing, they're feeling really confident of beating them.
Didn't you guys? KKR did that once.
KKR
right?
did that.
Major,
Mumbai has done that. CSK has done that.
8-9 in a row or something.
Like sometimes there's no way of you qualifying, and somehow 2 losses happen somewhere else, another loss happens somewhere else, and you win one game and suddenly you go through.
Yeah.
Like I've heard there was a time when CSK were all returning back.
Done. Dharamshala, the match. If that hadn't happened, they would have this thing. They crawled into. It was 2010.
Yeah.
They got into the semi-finals with
Just
skin of their teeth.
Yeah, literally. And then they went on to win the IPL that year.
Wow.
So,
and that was the same. I don't think was the playoffs in 2010. Was it the playoff format?
No, it wasn't.
So it was the last year of the
it was a playoff. It was a playoff format because 2009 was the year that Deccan won. 2010 was a playoff format.
Yeah, so these kind of things, momentum plays a big factor in tournaments.
Irrespective, I'm just saying in this one, since there's no playoffs, there's no real advantage of finishing 1 or 2 because one playing 4, you're playing takkar wala team. Yeah? You're not playing any minnows here in the sense.
You're not playing minnows. You're playing guys who deserve to be in that position.
Absolutely. So again, coming back to this, you're saying
now
Australia.
if you look at the whole format, sorry to cut you off, but if you look at the whole format, you can see that that whichever 4 get there deserve to be there.
Absolutely. Because it's that kind of format. You're playing 9 games. You're playing each of the 9 teams once. The thing is that here today, with Australia having that kind of attitude, right, saying New Zealand will be slightly tighter than Australia in this game. They'll be slightly tighter, slightly higher strung.
So what New Zealand would be saying is, I don't want to leave it till the last game against England to qualify. For sure. I might still qualify in 11, but I don't want to leave it for that last game.
Yeah.
I want to finish it today if possible. If I finish it today if possible, I'll play against England in a much better frame of mind.
Yeah, you want to secure that queue against your name.
Correct.
No matter what. So New Zealand would be keen about this game, right? I feel if there's any lapse that could happen, could probably happen from Australia now that they've already qualified.
Flip side.
The complacency might creep in. But here, you know that they'll be on point with their commitment and dedication and the determination to win the game. You know that New Zealand will come in there and say, okay, we got to secure this queue against our name.
Listen, they're extremely equal teams because ever since Australia beat New Zealand in the final of the 2015 World Cup, they are 4-all. I'm quite surprised that they've only played, I think it's 9 games and one was a washout. They've only played 9 games in the last 4 years.
They haven't played each other that often recently. I don't know why it's been just the schedule's a bit. Otherwise, normally in 2-3 years, New Zealand, Australia would play each other 9-10 times.
Could be what is that? Trans-Tasman ego trip.
Ego trip.
But I'll tell you one more interesting thing.
Ego trip is longer than the flight trip.
In the late 19th century, Australia actually offered New Zealand to join Australia.
What?
Yes, absolutely. And they competed in 2 Olympics together as the Australasia as a team.
Wow.
It's only after 1908 and 1912 Olympics, there was one team called Australasia, which were guys from Australia and New Zealand. And it's only after 1920 that they break up and compete as different countries.
That's amazing. I love when Joyda tells us facts from his youth.
Yeah, I love it.
This is not youth. This is my middle age, yaar. This is my middle age, yaar.
His favorite thing. So just like Harsha's favorite thing is to go into 1950s music, yours is to go into 1920s stats and trivia. So you guys jump 100 years.
I used to sit for quizzes where there used to be quizmasters who say current affairs in 1926. 20th century meant current affairs, boss.
Anywhere in the 20th.
20th is current affairs. Yeah, news mein padha hua.
I think that the joy factor question today is slightly more recent than the 1920s.
I promise you it is.
It is? All right, all yours.
Okay, here goes. As a player, I still hold an one-day international cricket record. After I became my former team's coach, my nephew scored a golden duck, but my team still won an ICC tournament. Who am I? I became my former team's coach. My nephew scored a golden duck, but my team still won the tournament. Who am I? You definitely know the nephew, and I'm pretty sure you know the person as well.
दूर का nephew के पास का nephew?
Nephew, direct nephew.
Proper nephew.
Proper nephew.
This
is not India wala nephew.
Not India wala. So it's not
India wala nephew.
I'm just guessing. I'm trying to get the answer out of him. So maybe he'll slip it out, but he never does.
I'm going through the list of champions and I'm thinking who.
But of what? This tournament could be
ICC tournament. He said.
Yeah, but it could be champions. It could be T20. It could be
World Cup.
World Cup.
It could be any, right?
Yeah.
T20 World Cup. It can be anything.
Okay, I won't say anything.
Okay, I think I know now. I think I know what direction. But it doesn't matter. We can keep going. Yeah. Somebody's already sent the answer.
Yeah, someone's already sent the answer, man.
Some cricket geek has already done the job.
You just know that today it's not going to be Crick Rohit. It's already Crick Rohit's here.
He keeps yes.
Crick Rohit is here.
That's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, you have never seen both of them. We will see both of them in a room. We have decided that we will be calling Crick Rohit to either our studio or to Joyda's office in Delhi, depending on which city you're in, and then we will get a picture of the two of them just to
prove. Perfect.
Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. You can send in your answers to that question on that. We still have a little prediction game to play for our My 11 Circle expert couch. Australia batting first. What do you think they're going to get? What do you think they're going to get?
What the hell? 297.
297.
I was going very close. 305.
305. I like that you two have bunched yourself together so I can get an entire 30-run play.
You'll get a
right?
big one.
So I am going to say, I'm going to lowball it to 260.
So 260, you get till 275 and
245 to 275.
not bad.
So I'm winning for sure, just by strategy. Clever strategy. All right, we'll be back in the 15th over with Cricbuzz Combox. Thank you so much for watching My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. A big thank you to Joy Bhattacharjya and Robin Uthappa. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you soon. Take care.